Welcome to the Feminine Principle podcast, heart-centered conversation for soul-centered women who are on a path of self-discovery. I'm your host, Nicola, shamanic practitioner, shadow and soul integration coach, and the creatrix behind the Feminine Principle, supporting women to redefine the relationship they have with themselves, others, and Mother Earth through the magic hidden in their unconscious. For more information, please visit thefeminineprinciple.com.
We've begun the Pisces new moon season. And so it's the last star sign of the zodiac. So it's the ending as we prepare for the beginning. So we're immersed in all that beautiful source energy, which is really lovely. And I have been healing my beautiful chest from bronchitis. And this has been interesting in itself because as a result, I've given up smoking. Which I've given up smoking many times before, but this time I've been using and taking my own medicine. So at smoking, like any addiction, it can be a real challenge because we have to go through all the mood changes and the cold turkey and everything else. What's actually happened is that it has been one where I've been able to engage with the cravings. So what normally happens is that, and you can relate to this in any type, in any part of your life. So when we have cravings or this need to distract ourselves, what we try to do is we try to suppress it. So we will do something else to suppress the energy, to suppress the emotion, just so that we don't have to feel it. And so what actually happens is that instead of suppressing it, rejecting it and ignoring it, we need to engage with it, because they're coming up for a reason. So I've been consciously engaging with the cravings and allowing them to really be felt in my whole body. And so what I've explored through that engagement is that, they just come and then they go actually really, really quickly. But because we are trying to run away from them, we're trying to suppress them, whatever that is in our life, because we're doing all that energy, that takes more energy. So we just keep running and we never actually get any further. So, this goes all back to emotional intelligence and about owning those emotions. So cravings, in my case, giving up smoking, is just that energy. It's just an emotion that I needed to learn how to work with. So I needed to redefine my relationship with the energy that was coming to the surface. So being able to sit with the cravings, and how I did that so that they wouldn't overwhelm me was I changed my breathing sequence. So being able to sit in the body, just so, again, with shadow work, for those of you who know and those of you who have worked with me, you know that being able to sit in this container and feel these emotions is extremely vital if we're going to engage with our personal power. So, but being able to sit within this container and not feel overwhelmed by it and not fall back into those patterns of wanting to run and wanting to escape and ignore and suppress, etc., then we need to be very, very conscious within the body. So we need to be fully present in this moment. And so working with the breath is obviously our greatest gift and our ally on this journey. So working with the breath, so having to change my breathing sequence. So instead of, so when I was engaging with the craving and feeling it in my body, so that it wouldn't overwhelm me and it wouldn't make me want to go and reach for a cigarette, being able to engage with it and just breathe. So I was breathing into the craving. I wasn't running away from it, but breathing into it and breathing out, consciously working with it. So having a relationship with it through the breath. And literally the cravings would just last no more than 5 seconds. It was really impressive because in the past, these cravings would have driven me absolutely goddamn insane. And so, working with this, you can actually have a look in your own life. Where do you run away from your own energy? So we all know this energy. You can feel it in certain times of your day, in certain aspects of your life. There is an energy that you avoid at all costs. When you focus on that energy, instead of running away from it, but learn how to redefine your relationship with it, it's going to change everything. So what I learned through this process was that by engaging with my energy, by engaging with those cravings and understanding what was beneath them, suddenly I have more energy. So instead of running, continuously suppressing and ignoring the power that wants to come through me, the creative energy that wants to come through me, and suppressing it through smoking, by being able to sit with it, I actually had so much more energy. So suddenly all this energy started to come to the surface, and the only thing that I could do with it, because it was so powerful and there was so much, it was like there'd been a lid had been closed on my creative energy for such a long time, and that suddenly this lid had been taken off. So if you imagine a bottle of Prosecco and you pop the cork, this was all this energy that was coming out of me. So it could have overwhelmed me, and I knew that it could have overwhelmed me, and it could have sent me straight back into my repetitive behaviors and patterns and habits, such as smoking. So what I did, and what I've been doing for this past week, is walking. So I have walked walking has really helped me to engage with that energy and not suppress it, because this is our personal power. And when that personal power wants to come up, it's going to come up. But we have to learn how to sit with it, because it's so goddamn strong that we don't want to run away from it. We don't want to fall back into old habits and patterns, because that personal power is ours. It's our innate gift. It came from birth. We have carried all this knowledge and wisdom down through the generations and through our lifetimes and through our soul's passage, that sooner or later we're going to have to engage with it. But we're going to have to also find ways in which we can work with it. Like, how do we engage with this personal power when it is so strong? How do we engage with this gift that's coming through? It's because we have to be continuously conscious with it. If we're not going to be conscious with it and choose to be conscious with it, then obviously we're going to keep living unconsciously, and we're going to keep running away from it. So it all comes back to personal choice. You can choose every single moment of every single day whether you want to engage with this power or you don't. And that it's as simple as that. And so, my time had come. Do I want to engage with this power, or do I want to continue to suppress it through smoking? And so the time had come, and then I chose. This is the choice that I made.
Thank you for tuning in to the Feminine Principle podcast. If you have enjoyed listening and received value from this episode, then please consider supporting the work to create a circle of reciprocal generosity. The link is below, with love and gratitude.